Have you ever felt completely invisible? Like you're screaming into a void and no one hears you. Maybe you're surrounded by people but still feel utterly alone. Or the silence in your home feels deafening. Loneliness is a universal experience, and yet it's one of the hardest things to admit. So if this resonates, you're in the right place, because today I'm going to help you to understand loneliness, why it happens, and most importantly, how you can overcome it. So by the end of this video, I hope you'll feel a little less lonely and a lot more hopeful. Let's start with understanding what loneliness really is, because it's not just being physically alone. You could be in a crowd or at a party, even in your own family, and still feel lonely. Loneliness is the absence of connection. It's the deep ache that comes from feeling unseen, unheard, and misunderstood. It's not about being in proximity to people. It's about emotional closeness. And here's the thing, loneliness is a signal. Just as hunger tells you to eat or thirst tells you to drink, loneliness is your body's way of saying, I need connection. But instead of reaching out, many of us retreat further inwards. We tell ourselves, oh, no one will understand, or I'll just be a burden. But the truth is, loneliness isn't a weakness. It's part of being human. And it's something we all experience, especially during times of transition, like losing someone we love, moving to a new place, or even retiring from a long career. But you're not broken in feeling this way. Now, I want to share something personal. There was a time in my life when I lost everything I knew. My father, my brother, my mother, and even my beloved dog were all gone within a single year. And I can tell you that the silence was unbearable. I felt like I was drowning in the grief of loneliness. There were days when I didn't know how I'd get through it. But slowly I realized that loneliness was a call to reconnect with others, yes, but more importantly, with myself. That's why I started my journey towards healing, and I'm here to help you start yours. Loneliness isn't just a personal problem, it's a societal one. We're more connected than ever to technology, yet so many of us feel disconnected. Social media shows us everyone's highlight reel, making us feel like we're the only ones struggling. And then there's this unspoken shame around loneliness, as if admitting it makes you weak or unworthy. But let me tell you something, loneliness doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It means you're human. Life transitions also play a big role. Empty nesters, retirees, caregivers, and those who've experienced loss are especially vulnerable. These changes can leave us feeling unmoored, questioning our identity and purpose. Loneliness thrives in silence, but it loses power when we name it. So let's name it together. So what can we do? Connect with yourself first. Before we can truly connect with others, we need to reconnect with ourselves. And this might sound strange, but loneliness often comes from disconnect within. So take the time to sit with your feelings. Maybe you could journal. It's a great tool to ask yourself, what am I really feeling? Is this sadness, fear, or regret? Naming your emotions is the first step towards understanding and healing them. And don't forget about self-care. Treat yourself with kindness as you would a dear friend. Go for a walk, make a nourishing meal, or spend time doing something you love. Next, take small steps towards connection. Reaching out can feel intimidating, but connection starts with small actions. Call a friend, join a local group, or strike up a conversation with someone at a coffee shop. You don't have to find your soul tribe right away. Just take small, consistent steps towards others. Next, embrace vulnerability. We often hide our loneliness because we fear rejection, but true connection requires vulnerability. So open up to someone you trust. Share how you're feeling. You might be surprised at how many people will respond with compassion. Help someone else, because one of the quickest ways to combat loneliness is to help somebody else. So you could volunteer at a shelter, lend a listening ear to a friend, or simply smile at a stranger. Giving to others reminds us that we're part of a bigger community. And find joy in the present moment. Loneliness often keeps us trapped in the past or fearful of the future. So why not practice mindfulness? Notice the little joys around you, the warmth of the sun, the taste of your favorite coffee, the sound of the bird song. These moments of presence can anchor us and remind us of life's beauty. Loneliness doesn't have to define your story. It's a chapter, not a whole book. And by reconnecting with yourself and others, you can move through this season of life and find joy again. Remember, you're not alone in feeling this way. There's always hope and there's always a path forward. And if you're struggling, know that there's no shame in reaching out for help, whether that's a friend, a counselor, a coach, or even a supportive community. I hope that this video has given you some comfort and practical steps to move forward. And if you want more support, be sure to check out my weekly podcast called Give Grief a Chance, where I dive deeper into topics like this. And if you found this helpful, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so we can keep this conversation going. Remember, you're never truly alone. Please take care of yourself. From my heart to yours, I'll see you in the next video.